We don't even need to ask if you like movies, because we're sure you do. The real question is, did you know that several amazing movies are going to be released in the future? Bluey the Movie. At this point, Bluey is a legend in children's animation. Other cartoons have a lot to learn from the Australian series about the little blue pup. The success has been so huge that the franchise's next step is heading to the big screen, because the Bluey movie is a reality and will premiere on August 6th, 2027. But this movie won't just be a very long episode of Bluey, it will be something completely different. The entire show has been animated in 2D, right? That's going to change with the movie, which will be made in 3D animation. No one ever imagined that one day Bluey would be brought into 3 dimensions, but it's happening, and everyone is curious to see how it will turn out. Some people are certain the result will be incredible, while others are afraid it might end up looking awkward. But in our opinion, there's a strong chance it will be amazing, and not just the visuals, but the story as well. If Bluey can create such memorable stories in episodes that are only 7 minutes long, imagine a movie that runs for over an hour? It has everything it needs to be the most fantastic and emotional adventure for the character. And keep in mind, this is just the first of the 11 incredible movies that will be released soon. Get comfy and come with us, because another Cinewave is about to start. The Incredibles 3. That's right. To our delight, Pixar's greatest superheroes are coming back, and we have good reason to believe their next adventure won't just be good, it will be incredible. The Incredibles had a movie in 2004, another in 2018, and we'll get a new one on June 16th, 2028. Yes, 10 years after the second movie and 24 years after the first. If this franchise were a person, it would be old enough to be a married adult with kids, but we still need to find out how much time will have passed within the world of The Incredibles, because the events of the 2018 sequel begin right after the ending of the first film, meaning that the universe didn't age even a single day. It's possible that this could happen again and become the franchise's signature style, but let's be honest, it would be really cool if The Incredibles 3 took place a few years after the first 2 films, with Violet and Jack being older and taking the lead roles. Especially since Mr. Incredible was the main character in the first movie, and Elastigirl had her spotlight in the second. It's more than time for the kids to take center stage. The Forgotten Island. One of the biggest surprises of this year is called The Forgotten Island, and that name is actually ironic because we're talking about a movie that has everything it needs to become unforgettable. Its story is about 2 girls who have been best friends since childhood, but will have to follow different paths in adulthood until they end up on a magical island where their memories slowly begin to fade away, which is why it's called Forgotten Island. The film is being produced by DreamWorks, the studio behind Shrek, Puss in Boots, and Kung Fu Panda, so it looks like the project is in good hands. And this story seems like it will be an emotional one, because the 2 main characters risk completely forgetting each other if they can't escape the island. That idea is a great way to explore themes like growing up and the cycle of life. Its release is right around the corner, since it's set to come out on September 25th, 2026. Moana, live action. In 2016, Disney released one of its biggest successes in the animation industry, Moana, the story of a navigator who teams up with a demigod to save the entire ocean. And in 2026, Disney is retelling that same story as a live action movie, meaning real actors instead of animated characters. And based on what the trailers have shown, it's going to stay very faithful to the original film. This movie will be a new step for Disney's live action remakes, since the company is doing things it has never done before, like bringing a voice actor to also play the character in live action. Maui was already voiced by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, but now the actor will also portray him physically, and even put a wig on his bald head to do it. That kind of boldness deserves respect. On top of that, the time gap between the release of this movie and the original animated version will be only 9 years, much shorter than other live action remakes. Could this mean that more recent animated movies will start getting live action versions? There's no way to know, but what we do know is that this adaptation of Moana will hit theaters on July 10th, 2026. So which of these movies are you most excited to watch? Comment down below with #movies and your answer so we can read it. Lilo and Stitch 2, live action. Since we're talking about live-action remakes of Disney animated movies, how about we talk about Lilo and Stitch? The 2025 remake of the story about the little blue alien who crash-landed in Hawaii was one of the biggest successes among this type of Disney film, and the company is also going to use a new strategy because of that success. The Lilo and Stitch remake is getting an original sequel, and by that, we mean Lilo and Stitch 2 is on the way. However, the movie won't adapt the story from any of the 3 direct-to-TV sequels or the series. Instead, it will be a completely new story built from scratch, although the production may still take some elements from those works. That's because they form a sort of expanded Lilo and Stitch universe and introduced a lot of really cool things, like other experiments similar to Stitch, allies, villains, and many other elements that could lead to a brand new kind of adventure. But we'll find out the truth on May 26th, 2028, which is when Lilo and Stitch 2 is set to be released. Ice Age Boiling Point. Many franchises are making a comeback, and that's also the case with Ice Age, which will finally get its 6th movie after many years of waiting. Ice Age Boiling Point will be the name of this new prehistoric adventure. In it, we'll see the return of Manny, Ellie, and Sid, since their presence has already been confirmed, along with the return of Scrat, that squirrel obsessed with his acorn. And this character won't be coming back alone, because now he'll be joined by his son, Baby Scrat. Who would have thought, right? Another confirmed detail is the movie's release date, February 5th, 2027. It's crazy to think this film is coming so many years after Ice Age Collision Course, which was released in 2016. The 6th movie had already been announced around that time, but its development went through many issues, especially because Ice Age's original studio, Blue Sky, was shut down after being acquired by Disney. So this will be the first movie in the franchise released in theaters that was not produced by Blue Sky Studios. Star Fox. One of the coolest surprises in Super Mario Galaxy the movie was the appearance of Fox McCloud, the main character from the Star Fox game franchise, which focuses on space adventures and starship battles. Something very different from Super Mario, but that still fits perfectly with Super Mario Galaxy since it also takes place in space. Even so, no one expected these two universes to cross over in the movies, but this could be a sign of something very interesting. Nintendo wants to create films based on its other game franchises, and Star Fox the movie has a strong chance of being one of the next projects. The company's strategy seems to be introducing main characters from other franchises in the big Super Mario movies before giving them their own adaptations, similar to how cameos work in Marvel and DC films. Could we be witnessing the birth of Nintendo's cinematic universe? Garfield Movie 2. The orange cat who loves lasagna got a fantastic movie in 2024, and it won't be long before he returns, because Garfield Movie 2 is more than confirmed and will bring back Chris Pratt as the voice of our beloved Garfield. There's still no confirmed release date yet, but it was announced in 2025, so it's very possible that it will arrive sometime in mid-2027. Other than that, we're left wondering what kind of trouble Garfield and Odie will get themselves into this time. We'd better hope they don't cause even more problems for their owner, but that's practically impossible. Don't forget, subscribing is the easiest way to make sure you never miss any of our videos. Hello Kitty, the movie. There are some characters we never expected to see getting a theatrical movie until it actually happens. That's the case with Hello Kitty, a little white cat who can be seen in tons of toys and animated shows. Her movie will be made through a partnership between Warner Brothers and New Line Studios, and its release date is set for July 21st, 2028. We still don't know much about what this project will look like, but it's known that it was being planned as a mix of animation and live action. However, it hasn't been confirmed yet whether that idea will actually move forward. It would be very interesting if the movie sticks with that style, because it would make it stand out as something truly unique. Dynamic Duo. If you like animation and superheroes, it's time to get excited, because a really cool animated film is on the way, and its name will be Dynamic Duo. If that name reminded you of Batman and Robin, who are famously known as the Dynamic Duo, that's no coincidence. This movie will be from DC Comics and will involve Robin, but not in the way you might expect. That's because the duo in the film will be Dick Grayson and Jason Todd, the first two Robins that Batman has ever had in the comic books, because he's had quite a few. Here, both Robins will team up to fight crime, even though they have very different personalities. There are still many details about this movie that need to be revealed, such as its release date and more information about the story. For example, it's still unknown whether this animated film will take place in the same universe as the 2025 Superman movie, but everyone is hoping that it will. Oh, the places you'll go. You've most likely watched at least one movie based on a Dr. Seuss book, like The Grinch or The Lorax. He was an incredibly important children's author. It's no surprise that his creations keep getting adapted for the big screen, and that's not going to stop anytime soon. soon. In fact, it's already known that we're going to be getting a brand new adaptation of a Dr. Seuss story. The title is quite long, as the production is called Oh, the Places You'll Go. If the movie stays faithful, the story will follow a boy who leaves his hometown to explore a magical, strange world full of challenges. It has already been confirmed that the production will be a 3D animated movie and also a musical, with the main characters being portrayed by Ariana Grande and Josh Gad, the voice of Olaf in Frozen. In fact, the book this movie is based on was the last one Dr. Seuss published before he passed away, so there's a certain emotional weight here. You can tell this movie has a lot of potential, but we'll have to wait until its release on March 17th, 2028 to find out if that potential will truly be fulfilled. Enjoying it? Then click one of the two videos we left on the screen and keep going with us. See you next time!